and I guess that's played by an actress who's been in other shows that I haven't seen. I've seen Stranger Things, so that's why I recognize David Harbour. You know, it's funny because the critics panned the game. They really did. Critics were saying this is like a 6 out of 10. It's a bad, outdated, boring, crappy game. Okay? I couldn't disagree more. The thing is, there is a place for games like this in the gaming space, but sadly, games journalists just look for the same kind of game over and over. If it's not Resident Evil, they don't even want to talk about it. Seriously. Oh, it's not Resident Evil? Oh, well, then it's terrible. 5 out of 10. Like, do you even understand survival horror? Do you understand the appeal of it? There's two things that appeal in survival horror. The first thing is an eerie atmosphere with a well-written, suspenseful plot and creepy stuff that happens. 100% Alone in the Dark has that. The other thing is scares. And Alone in the Dark has scares. It's got enemies that jump out of nowhere, jump scares and stuff. It's got the two key elements that make a survival horror game good. Does it have insanely revolutionary, groundbreaking graphics? No. Does it have the best combat engine you've ever seen in a survival horror game? No. But you don't need those elements to be a good game in this genre. You just need to hit on the notes of what you're looking for. And we haven't had a good survival horror game in a while, right? If you take a look back, you know, last month we had that really, really crappy Silent Hill spin-off game, The Signal. It was only 3 hours long. It was terrible. Not The Signal. What was it called? The Short Story or something? It was terrible. It was really atrociously bad, right? And before then, I mean, what was the last survival horror game? A year ago, Resident Evil 4 Remake. So to have a game now finally come out is refreshing. It's new. It's not a remake. It's not a rehash. We don't know the story because it's something fresh. Now, yes, it's called Alone in the Dark. It's based on a franchise from 20-something years ago on PC. Actually, about 30 years ago on PC now. But no, it's not that story. Supposedly, this is an original story, something interesting. Immediately, I start getting sucked into the game and immersed in the story. You go into this house that is apparently, I call it a house of healing because basically it's medicine, but also it's like psychology as well. Like, this is for people who like have problems, whether they're medical, whether they're mental, and they're there to basically be healed by this doctor, right? So is it real, or is this guy a quack job and he's just taking all their money? Who knows? That's part of the fun of the game, is figuring this out. And the reason you're there is because an eccentric, wealthy man checked himself in, telling the family that he thinks he's possessed, okay? So Emily is the niece of this man, and you're going there with a private investigator, played by David Harbour, to figure out what's really going on in the situation. Is he there? If he's there, is he there of his own will? Is he actually nuts? Like, what's going on? Because the family's very concerned what the hell happened with this guy, right? And immediately, when you start going into this house, things start going crazy. Like, you start noticing weird things about the house. The house has 1 million rooms, and it's like a labyrinth. Within the first hour, you get warped into an alternate world that seems like you got teleported from the house down into like New Orleans, but the streets are full of these mutated creatures that are either like covered in moss or maggot infested. It's just disgusting, but it's creepy as hell. It's like, what the heck is going on? Is this real? Is it not real? Are you hallucinating? What's going on? And you don't know. And so for 3 hours, I went through this house. I fought enemies. I solved puzzles. And the puzzles are kind of interesting because some of them give you backstory about the history of this house. You know, it wasn't always this house of healing. One point, it was a pirate's hideout. Yeah, I know, pirates in New Orleans ages ago. Then it became a house where a bunch of artists lived, but then a hurricane swept through, and apparently the artists disappeared, and no one knows whatever happened to them. In fact, one of the house's inhabitants now swears she's the woman from the time period like 20, 30 years before, but she's only 30 years old, so how could that be? She'd be a baby, right? So it's really interesting plot, for sure. The atmosphere is well done. The music is great. The only thing I'll say is, yes, the graphics aren't up to snuff for a modern game. They feel last gen, and the gameplay mechanics aren't great, but it's a survival horror game, so it doesn't matter. If this were like an action game where you had to take cover and shoot tons of repetitive enemies and you need a good system, I'd say, oh, it's inferior. It's a freaking survival horror game. Some of the charm of these games is that you feel kind of clunky, right? You don't have full control over yourself. You're a little bit slow, tankish. You know, that's part of the appeal of the game. So far, I'm really enjoying it. 3 hours in, I've had a blast with it. The audience that was there live really liked it. You know, we're all survival horror aficionados, and we're all enjoying this game. Like, why did the reviews say it's so bad? Oh, yeah, because modern journalists are assholes. They're fucking not gamers. They don't even understand the survival horror genre. right? They just don't. Like, well, if it ain't Resident Evil, it must suck. No, you're an idiot. Just fucking get some fucking, experience under your belt before you get hired by a company to write game reviews, and you read your review and you realize you're a fucking moron. You don't even know anything about the fucking genre, and you're trying to rate a game in it. You're stupidity. The game is pretty well done so far. Now, the game supposedly is between 10 to 15 hours, and that depends on how much you know how to solve the puzzles, and if you actually try to explore and do optional stuff, or if you just kind of like rush through the game, okay? Here's the thing. If the game stays on the level it's on right now, this is a super good game. If it ends up getting kind of boring, or maybe the puzzles fall apart or whatever, I could see it getting a lower score or whatever. I'm curious. The first 3 hours were quite good. And it's funny because I'm playing the game, and someone said in the chat, so do you think that the reviews saying that the first 5 hours of this game were very boring or true? And I was like, what? I'm in the first 3 hours of the game, and I'm having a great time. So if they think this is boring, does that mean the end is even better? I don't know. But anyway, I really enjoyed it. Okay? So I hope that you guys will check it out if you haven't. The videos are live on the channel. I made part 1, the featured video on the channel. Thank goodness we have something new to make a featured video on this channel because it's been so dang long since we did. If you like survival horror and you like my survival horror style and playthroughs, I think you're really going to like this channel because it's been so dang long since we did. If you like survival horror and you like my survival horror style and playthroughs, I think you're really going to like this game. So give the playthrough a look and let me know what you think, okay? Right now, day 1 views, people are trying to watch it. Obviously, I'm not going to get the great day 1 views I would have got if I played it when it was a brand new release a week and a half ago. I couldn't play it then because I was in the midst of the other stupid RPGs, so I get it. It's not going to be a giant hit or anything, but I am hoping that it breathes a breath of fresh air into the channel. Just for perspective, we had people yesterday on stream who I hadn't seen in months. And they were like, yeah, I'm back. Now that you're done with those stupid RPGs, right? Now I'm going to come back and start watching your content again. And I was like, thank you. Seriously, thank you, because this is awesome. I want to have people coming for variety again. Not that, oh, they just think this is DSP RPG, right? So I'm very happy with that. We saw people again, okay? Okay. Then last night on